Hi, Brenda. So nice to finally meet you. My name is Gabriela, and currently I'm the historian, but I've had many other roles as well. Um,
Nice.
so I was informed that you were on the previous cohort of the Alumni Board. If you would just want to start by sharing your name, when you graduated, what college or university you went to, and then where you're at currently.
Yes, so my name is Brenda Ruby Mendez, and I graduated from Arizona State University with an accounting degree went to the business school and graduated in 2014, I believe. I graduated a year earlier. So I'm always going back with when I should have graduated. And now I am an entrepreneur and I have my own business.
Nice, awesome. What kind of business do you have currently?
So I do digital marketing and I also do business consulting and helping people start their own business. So I'm in the startup world and also run e-commerce companies.
Oh, nice. Awesome. So is that kind of like the Amazon and all those?
Yeah,
Okay,
products, Amazon, all that.
nice. Well, that's awesome. And for the next question is, how did you hear about the Arizona Education Forward Alumni Board, and what made you get involved when you did?
Yeah, so I was one of the earliest scholars recipients back in 2011, I believe, when I graduated high school. And I went through all the name changes, and I was super grateful for have been a recipient of the scholarship because it helped me pay for my schooling financially and also gave me all of the support through all of our mentors through the program. And since then, I just couldn't get my hands off and my involvement in this organization because it's done so much for me. So since then, I've been a part of it, and then I was also the first ones to be on the alumni board as the alumni relations. And after that, I just continue to give my time to this organization, and hopefully others can as well.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Wow, so you go way back.
Yeah, way back.
So that's really cool. Um, the next question, it says, what was your role on the board and some of the duties that you experienced?
Yeah, so I started as alumni relations. And some of the duties that I did was reaching out to alumni and making sure that we keep that network going even after people graduate from the program and go into their career and into what I like to call the adult life, right? And into the real world. And so continuing to bridge the connection between the alumni and the professionals, and then back to the students as well.
Yeah, that's nice. That's a really great feeling that I can definitely agree with, giving back and sharing that experience. For the next question, it says, what was the activity event that stood out to you the most during your time as a board member? And what are the reasons for it?
Yeah, and even in the short time in the year that I was involved as alumni relations and being a busy individual and professionals that we all were, we still managed to do so much during that year. And we met and we did happy hours. But one of the events that really stood out to me, other than connecting with the alumni and having fun and networking and seeing how we can help each other, was giving back to our students in a form of a scholarship where we were able to raise our own funds and have an alumni board scholarships to help the student, even if it was just for books or the small expenses that sometimes the students don't get help with, and that $500 could really hurt them, or they end up getting really disappointed, or it's really hard financially on them. So for us to do such a small donation, but with a big impact, was really impactful during the time that I was there to help students. And we did a full check and we met the students and we presented the big physical check, and it was a really cool experience.
Yeah. Well, that we just had that last Friday, and I wanted to share with you that that went up to 600 for two students each.
Wow.
So, it's definitely progress still continuing as well. So
That's amazing. I'm so glad that you guys continue that.
yeah, definitely. I think since you guys were from the earlier cohorts, with the alumni, a lot of things have continued until this day. So
I'm
thank
glad.
you. For the next question I have, what challenges did you face on the board and how did you overcome them whenever there was any from the day you started all the way to the day that you finished?
Yeah, so just with everything comes new challenges, and the biggest challenge that I, in my position and in overall the organization on the alumni board was getting the alumni to attend some of the events that we created, or working around different schedules and seeing how we can bring more alumni into the organization to help. And I think the biggest misconception there with that challenge that arose was the time needed to participate or give back. And in all honesty, this is why I tell the students and the alumni that it's with anything that you give, right? That gives so much impact and of value, and with your time or money or whatever that is, giving back. I don't feel like I spend a lot of time, that the organization took a lot of time for me. It was actually really cool to look forward to and connect and network, especially because we get so busy. So I think there's a misconception that the being on the board takes a lot of a time because we are busy, and in reality, it didn't take a lot of time. And anything that we did, we made a big difference. So the biggest challenge would be getting alumni to join and help, and they don't even have to be on the board. It could just be just being part of the event or helping in any way that they can without even having to take a big responsibility on the board.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that now being a part of it. And I think that is a really big concern and a very valid concern that a lot of the students have,
Yeah.
especially when they're trying to find that balance of adjusting to the real world,
Mhm.
life, work, family, whatever situation they may have. So
Yeah.
thanks for sharing that important key there with the time. For the next question that I have for you, it says, how did you envision the Education Forward Arizona Alumni Board contributing more to the community? How do you
Yeah,
think we can make a bigger impact continuing on?
how do I envision it? I think more of financially is a big impact, and I think the organization's already doing that. And I think that's awesome that we have already started doing that and we have contributed financially. But I think the bigger impact that I know I received myself and a lot of those alumni, that I hear of, it's the connections, is the network, and it's the mentorship. So I think, again, with the time that any of us as alumni can give back with our time, it's the wisdom that we share, it's the mentorship that we share with the students, and it's the guidance that we give back through our time. So I think the more impact that I would like to see is more devotion from the alumni with their time in sharing that wisdom now that they are experiencing it for themselves with the students.
Okay. And just to clarify a little bit more, when you mentioned with the time and the more devotion, you just elaborate a little bit more for me because I feel like it's still a little bit broad.
Yeah, so I would say the more impact that I can see in this organization was more alumni engagement in the alumni events or with the students. So collaborating more alumni with students and adding more mentorship there.
Like mentorship, I really like that too.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. For the next question I have, in what ways do you see yourself remaining involved with the alumni board?
I figured to be now where I'm currently at. I'm taking this interview from Europe, and I decided to travel more. So I think the impact that I would personally like to do is be more involved anyway digitally, like I am doing now, or giving back through interviews or hosting a workshop or anything that I can devote my time to. Again, back to giving back to the students, anything that I can do, which pretty much anything that's higher on my business is remotely. So with my time and mentorship and digitally.
Nice. And I think that is a very hot topic right now with a lot of the social media engagement, and all those remote activities that we can do. So that's really cool to continue having the conversation about.
Yeah.
Next question I have, how can future board members better fulfill their duties that are coming from your perspective?
Yeah, I think we go back to that challenge I mentioned before, which was the alumni engagement that I think the organization has. So one way that I can think right away that the alumni can fulfill their duties would be going exactly where the alumni is. And so I think social media, anywhere digitally. I do business consulting and I always tell my clients this is go directly where your customers is at. And in this case, it would be if we want more alumni engagement or if we want to bring more people to the organization or events, I think being more active on social media and talking to them there, that's where maybe we'll get their attention and increase engagement.
Yeah, and definitely, I think that generation changing is definitely a key to what you're saying. So I appreciate that. I know that has been also on and off topic on the
Yeah.
table when it comes to having social media. Like I said earlier, they're working on developing their own Instagram page, since I know currently the Arizona Forward Education. I forget the name too because
Same.
some of the name changes, but I know that was something that we've been kind of trying to push, and
Mhm.
it hasn't up until like the last meeting that we had. They said that they might approve it, so I hope they do, because I think that is something that you can definitely help a lot with.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, and doing it more organically, right? So maybe more lives or more interviews or social media panel where there's 3 people, or just like we're doing now, right? Like little clips of showing where the alumni is and what are they doing now, and kind of more seeing them on the spotlight.
Yeah, definitely. And then I just have one more question. We're almost done. Um, my last question says, is there anything else that you recommend to the future board members, just in general advice?
I think to ask themselves the question of, if I was a student again, what would I want to see from alumni, and doing exactly that for them. So if I can rephrase it again and break it down, would be, if I was Brenda as a student in college again, what would I need to know? What would I need to hear from alumni or from my older self that knows, more and has more wisdom, and touch on those subjects? And so it's like, oh, I wish I knew how to budget back in college, or I wish I did internships so I knew what career path to go and not change my major. So those types of questions that students might have, I think answering them and sharing that, because I think now going back retrospectively, I think we can share a lot of wisdom now from what we know. And I think those are the questions that students have anxiety over or have so much fear around, that they can relate directly to us rather than an authority figure telling them what to do and not listening. I think they would listen more to those that have been in their shoes. And I think that's what we can do more and have a bigger impact through that.
Yeah, definitely. I like that. And I do agree with just thinking back as well, when your younger self doesn't really know much, but
Yeah.
sometimes you are afraid to ask those questions. And I think talking about them as a student that we once were, but not coming again from a place of authority, more of a like peer-to-peer, can
Yeah.
can hopefully make a change in our board and bring more people in. And those are all the questions that I have. Overall, my last one is just any overall final thoughts that you would like to share from your experience as a board member or with the organization, and how it impacted where you're at now. Any general comments? That's my last one.
Let's see. Yeah, maybe tapping into what's already out there, like the resources. Let's just say, for example, what I would do more of would be maybe doing polls on social media for the current students on like what would you guys like to hear, what maybe workshops and alumni can do for you guys, anything that we can help one the organization, and then two, how do we tap into that? And I'm sure the students are very active on social media, and maybe if you guys could do more surveys or polls or feedback directly from the students, and help the organization more. I think we're pretty powerful, and I think the arm that's missing, and it's the alumni organization, and I know it's directly the professionals that can really help the students. So I think being more involved in helping the organization through the alumni board, and again doing those. I know they already do the symposium and some workshops, but I think it would be nice to hear from the actual alumni on, hey, what does it look like to be in real estate, or what does it look like based on the students' feedback on, oh, I would like to know if anybody on my of the alumni is a civil engineer. Like I would love to connect with them and have more of that connection, even a buddy system down the road. But tapping into that, tapping into what do the students need that the alumni already has, and seeing where in our network we can pull from. And maybe more interviews and workshops. And I'm sure a lot of our alumni has a range of skill sets and knowledge that they would love to devote their time in doing a small workshop for the students.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate all that knowledge, feedback, and new ideas that you are sharing with me today. Thank you for answering all those questions.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else. I would like to thank you for working with me on your timing.
Yeah, of course.
That was a little bit of a struggle there, but we made it work. So thank you for that. And at this